Well, hey, y'all, it's Krystal Hunsucker. Happy Magnanimous Monday. Welcome to your $1 million message. Oh, my word. This must be a really great message because I've already recorded it once. Yes, it's one of those, and it would not save. So here we are, take two. If there's a take three, I don't know what's going to happen. I might lose my mind and pull all my hair out. But you guys, as sales directors, we just had our virtual leadership, and it was absolutely, I feel like, exactly what we all needed. It was incredible. It was wonderful. It was inspiring, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't in person. And, you know, just in this season, it's just hard, right? I mean, it's just hard, the unknowns and feeling like, you know, did I get the recognition I wanted? Did I not? You know, just all the things that run through our head. But the company did an outstanding job, and I'm so grateful. Mary Kay was so smart with her strategy of events throughout the year and what we needed to reach goals, to have goals, to, you know, focus on, but also to have those little bite-sized wins as we, you know, make it through a year. Because to, you know, really push through for a goal for an entire year, that takes focus, that takes courage, that takes discipline. And we need these events along the way. And so I just want to encourage you to know where you want to end up at seminar, but where are you going to be at by career conference? What's it going to look like for you? What are you going to do? And I want to tell you guys, it is not too late. Don't sell out on your goal. Buy in, get all in, and just go for it, right? Well, I want to be totally transparent and honest with you guys. I'm tired today. I'm just going to be real. After our leadership conference, I had one of my offspring with me, and we watched it together Thursday night. Friday night, I actually went to my mom's house. My mom took Boone out of town, and I went and stayed, I joke, at Resort Simpson and spent the night by myself, you guys. I watched leadership by myself that night, ate a little to-go dinner, took a bath. I was in bed early, got an amazing night's sleep, and then my sales director, one of my offspring, came over on Saturday, and we watched it together and powered up and had just such a great time. And being together made a difference while watching it, you guys. But I needed that refreshed time. But then today I served on the worship team at my church, and then we had my family over to watch the Super Bowl. Brad was like, do we have anywhere to go? And he was like, well, then we'll just make everybody come to us. And so he cooked this huge pot of chili, and oh my gosh, you guys, he made wings. Oh, he makes the best wings, you guys. We had so much great food, but total shiny ball. So what I want to share with you today, though, is that we always have a team meeting before we do rehearsal for our worship set, and then we have 2 services on Sunday morning. So I've been up since around 5 a.m., which is, I am not a 5 a.m., 5 o'clock a.m. club girl, and so it's, you know, it's early for me, and then I have to be at the church by about 6:30, and then we have this meeting at 7. And Luis is one of the leaders of our team, and I will tell you one thing. One of my favorite things about being on the worship team is it's truly and honestly, I mean, I feel like everyone is a leader in some way. You just have to kind of own up to that, whether it's just leading yourself, leading your family, leading a group of girlfriends. I mean, whatever that may look like for you, we are all leaders if you choose to take that mantle on, but we're all leaders. And so I feel like, though, I am just a called, born leader. But on the worship team, yes, I'm a worship leader. I'm up there leading and singing, but I am not in charge, you guys. And it is so refreshing to be a follower in an area of my life. And so I want to encourage you with that if you tend to kind of be in charge of everything and lead everything, that sometimes it's good to follow, that to be a great leader, you have to be a great follower. And I've had to humble myself in that position. I've had to sometimes keep my mouth shut during, different seasons. I've been on this team since 2006, you guys. So I've seen all sorts of things. But I've humbled myself with my call from God, and I know that my purpose is not to be a worship leader, but my passion is, and that God gave me a talent and a desire to bring people into his presence and to get to be on the stage. And I do not take it for granted, you guys. Every time I'm up, I'm like, thank you, God, that I get another day on this stage. Thank you that I get to show people what it looks like to be free and worship, but also that maybe people will see God instead of me. And it is my heart's desire, and that if I never get to be up there ever again, that day was the best day. And this definitely was the best day weekend. And my heart just goes out to so many of you who have not gotten to be in the house of God, because online is not the same. And when you get one of my Mary Kay girlfriends, she had posted this weekend that her and her husband for the first time got to go to a church service this weekend. And I messaged her and I said it was the best ever, wasn't it? And she was like, we were almost crying. It was so moving, the music and the energy. And you guys, the Holy Spirit pulsating through just a worship service. And so I'm praying for all of you guys that don't get to experience that right now, and just believing that there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel so that we can get back to the house of God. So with all that said, little rabbit trail, Luis is one of the heads of our team, and he started talking about just our team, that he was proclaiming and being a vision caster over us, that we are headed to the next level, that we're going to the next level. And that in order for us to go to the next level, though, that we were going to have to bring some more excellence, that we were going to have to make some changes, and we were going to have to do some things better. And he used a very, very simple example. But if you've ever been a singer, especially at church, on the back of the wall, there's usually a teleprompter. Can I get a praise the Lord? I mean, who doesn't need lyrics? I need the words. I tend to forget. I mean, most of the songs, not all of them, but most of them, I know by heart. I know the words. I sing them in my car. I sing them to Boone. But when I get on stage, that teleprompter's up, and I can look at it, and I know the next word's going to be up there so that I never get lost. But it's actually sometimes holding me back from where I could go. I'm not quite as free in worship because I'm worried about I got to look back at the teleprompter, get that phrase, and I know it's there. So I might not have looked at the lyrics as much as I would have if I knew I wasn't going to see them. I may not download that song quite as much in my heart because I know that I've got my cheat sheet on the back wall. Kind of like with maps, you guys, when we're driving somewhere. You know, I can go on autopilot super duper easy. I can throw my maps on and I just turn. I don't even know how I got there because I just did the turns it told me to do. Well, back when I was growing up, we used to have to get these paper maps out and actually go, okay, here I'm going to turn left, here I'm going to turn right. We actually had to figure out how to get places. Or people would give us directions, and that was always interesting. Okay, at the 7-Eleven, you're going to turn left. Anybody know what I'm talking about? And then when you got a little later in my life, we started having the internet. We had MapQuest. And so I could just MapQuest and print off my directions. But guess what? If I made a wrong turn or I got lost, it didn't recalculate for me. I had to figure it out. I would have to stop and ask or, and now, we just get places and we get on autopilot. If you ever got in your car, I know I have, and I live in McKinney. My mom lives in Frisco, and I've been headed over to Frisco to run an errand or do something, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I found myself driving to her neighborhood accidentally. And that wasn't where I was going. And so, we're really missing some pieces of our brain that God gave us. Another thing is our phone numbers. We get on autopilot that we just click. It's just, there's my husband's name, click. There's my sister's name, click. And it's a little bit scary, you guys, because we have so much more capacity in our heads and in our brains that we just don't utilize it. We're just not using it. And so I made a point that I at least know my phone number, my mom's phone number, and my husband's phone number. But we were called for more. So I just kind of want you to think of these things in your business where you kind of go on autopilot and just, kind of getting robotic in your business that is not serving you well. And so a couple of weeks ago or a month or so ago, I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm going to teach Boone my phone number. And so I'm laying up in his bed with him, and I was like, okay, for the next few nights, he catches on pretty quick. He was, this was before he was a big 5-year-old. He was only 4 a month ago. And I said, hey, Boone, I said, Mommy's going to teach you her phone number so that if you ever need it, you'll have it. I want you to learn it, okay? So I want you to repeat after me. Can you do that? And he's like, yeah. And I said, okay, Boone, 469. And Boone looked at me, and he goes, 450-6357. And I looked at him, and I go, what? I go, say that again. And he looked at me, and he grinned, and he repeated back my entire phone number. And I go, where did you learn that? And he shrugged his shoulders, and he goes, I don't know. And I go, are your teachers teaching you phone numbers at home? I bet they are. And he goes, no, my teachers didn't teach me that. And I thought, this little 4-year-old, pulling my leg. So the next day I messaged Miss Cherie, and I said, Miss Cherie, are you guys working on teaching the kids phone numbers of us parents? And she said, nope. And I said, you're kidding me. I have no clue where Boone has learned my phone number. She goes, they're such sponges. They learn everything. And I just think sometimes we just get so caught up in just daily life of doing things the way we're used to doing them and leaning into some technology and some things that are great, but doesn't always serve us, you guys, and we're missing out on more that God has gave us and made us to be. So I want to share with you very quickly 10 signs that you are living on autopilot. So the first is, number 1, 10 signs you're living your life on autopilot. Number 1, you dread the day ahead. You wake up and dread the day because there's nothing really that you're looking forward to. You don't feel excited or inspired to get the day started because you have a pretty idea of how it will go. Anybody ever had that dread? I know there are days or weeks sometimes where it can feel like that when you have babies. It's like, especially newborn babies. Oh, my word. It's such a joyous and hard time. I mean, for me it was anyways. I don't want to speak that on other people. But it's like, baby wakes up, feed the baby, change the baby. Baby's fussy. Baby has gas. Change the baby's clothes. Change the baby's diaper. You know what I mean? It's just like you just know the day, and it became less joyous because it looks the same, especially if you have your kids on a schedule, right? Number 2, your daily routine is predictable. Aha. You could practically tell someone how you'll spend your entire day a month from now. So like you could tell them exactly where you're going to go, what you're going to do, who you'll see, and what you'll eat. You've gotten into a completely predictable, there's no spontaneity left. Number 3, you do things without thinking. Ooh, this is a tough one, you guys. I've been here, done that. I've already told you one. You take actions without stopping to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it. Your decisions and actions have become so automatic that it takes little to no thought at all. And this can get really scary, you guys, because you're just doing things because you've always done them. And sometimes, I think Callie was just so genius. She's done this training so many times in this last few months she started asking herself, why am I doing this? And I think sometimes we're scared to ask ourselves that because then that means we're going to have to change. And change can be hard. I mean, right? And sometimes even change, the first thing that happens with change is loss. Like you're going to lose something when you change, and it's hard. So do you do things without thinking? Think about it. Number 4, you can't seem to put your phone down. This is so convicting to me, you guys. Basically, this message today was for me. You're just getting to listen in. So you automatically check your phone for updates and mindlessly scroll through emails, social media, the feed, any opportunity you get, even though you just checked it. This drives me crazy about myself. I'm going to be honest. I have this little thing that I hold my phone up in an air vent, and I'll find myself sometimes sitting at a stoplight, and I will start pressing the screen of my phone. And I'm at a stoplight, you guys. Why am I pressing it? I didn't used to have a cell phone. I wasn't used to, touch my phone so much. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if other phones other than iPhones have this, but iPhones have a little report, a little analysis of it'll show you per week and per day how many times you are looking at and picking up your phone. You guys, it is eye-opening. It is frightening. And you better look at it and make some different decisions, because I know it definitely affected me when I realized how many times I'm touching and looking at my phone. Number 5, you stay in deep thought. You constantly catch yourself deep in thought, thinking about things that aren't currently happening when you're doing something else. Basically, you're just mentally checked out and in la-la land. I'm sure you've heard the saying that your mind is a dangerous neighborhood. Don't go in there alone. Number 6, you have a difficult time remembering. Raising my hand, you're not fully present in the moment and don't remember doing activities like driving, eating, or having that conversation you should have remembered. Let's just say you can easily forget the little things and feel mentally mushy at times. You know, one of the things about this really affects me, you guys, because number 1, it makes me lose self-confidence in myself when I can't remember things, when I start having a difficulty remembering things, and it bothers me. I don't like that feeling. The other thing is it affects my relationships. It affects my marriage. Now, I don't know about you, but I've got toddlers at home, and so I have gotten really, really good in this season of tuning things out when I need to, and sometimes when I don't need to. I can be doing something else, and somebody can be talking to me, and I can literally not hear a single thing that they said, but yet I'm responding to them. It really can be a damaging factor in my marriage and in my relationships and with my friendships that later on Brad is like, hey, we had this conversation and I told you this, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I don't remember because I had tuned him out and I just wasn't being present in the moment. Yikes, living on autopilot. Number 7, you can't seem to let go. You do what's familiar, even though you know it's not serving you anymore. You keep the same unmotivated and unambitious people around you. You keep staying in the same place. You hold on to things you've outgrown. You keep living in the same old place and do things that don't inspire you because you're just used to it. I know right now that I think this is one of the biggest pieces of what is the difference between people being successful in this season and people feeling like they're being left behind is because they just can't let go of ways that just aren't serving you anymore. Autopilot. Number 8, you're not making meaningful progress. You make little to no meaningful progress towards your goals as days, weeks, and months seem to fly by. You're not focused on what's most important to you in life, and you feel down because of it. Oof. Number 9, you say yes more than you say no. You often agree to things that you just don't want to do, and then you dread the decision later. Instead of carefully considering your options, you've made yes your default answer. Sure, I'll do that. Sure, I'll work more hours if you have another job. Sure, I'd love to have every single person to my house. I would love to watch your kids with mine. I would love to go to that party when actually in your heart you just rather stay home. And you guys, there is something to be said with rest. We all need it. And there is a truth in a best yes. There's always good and there's best. But even more importantly, what I have found is that in my life and in the stage of life I'm in, it's not always necessarily do I have the time. It's actually do I have the energy. But we get an autopilot of making others happy instead of actually asking ourselves, is this a best yes for me? Number 10 on autopilot, you know there's a better life to be lived. You believe your life could be more joyous, but you feel stuck in this current situation. You know deep down you've settled into too many areas of your life, and you wish you would have taken a different path. You guys, it's never too late. Just start somewhere. Pick one area, and I promise you, when you pick one area, it will overflow into the other areas. So we have to make a conscious decision-making moment. We got to turn off the cruise control and create a more joyful and fulfilling life right now. We've got to take action. So we want to create a life vision, make it so crystal clear of what your why is and what you want your life to look like. And then we've got to align our thoughts and our actions. We've got to be aware of what we want. Align those thoughts and actions, and then you can start practicing living in the moment and being present. You know, there's even research that has shown that we are happiest when our thoughts and actions are aligned. There is so much truth in that, you guys. How many times have you just thought about your business, thought about your business, but you keep not acting and you're just thinking about it and you're thinking about it. And then you're exhausted and you feel negative because inactivity breeds negativity. And you're just tired because you're just thinking about it and nothing's happening, right? So how you spend your day doesn't tell you much about how happy you are. Your mental presence is a better predictor of your happiness. So I just want you to take control back. Get the control back and live happier so that you can be more mindful. And so one of the things I want you to do is make sure you get so crystal clear on what it is that you need to get off autopilot in your life. And it may be all the areas. I have several, you guys, that I really want to work on and be better at. But the next thing I want you to do is Callie taught me years ago to do a reverse weekly plan sheet. But I just want you to pick one day this week and basically set a timer, and every hour I want you to write down what you did that hour. And then I want you to ask yourself, did I do something on autopilot? And was I present in the moment with what I did this last hour? And ask yourselves those questions and see how productive or unproductive you're being and how much of your life are you just robotically going through? Because I promise if you can recognize it and you can change it and you can decide that you are going to get out of autopilot, you are going to head for an even more successful place than you already are. Well, let me bless you. I hope this call blessed you on my second time recording. Raise your hands in the air. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you. May you know that if God is for you, who can be against you? With God on your side, whom shall you fear? May you be like a tree that is planted by rivers of living water, that your leaf will not wither. And whatsoever you do, say it with me, it shall prosper. Happy Magnanimous Monday, and get off autopilot. Love you guys.